This is a Kmart production, brought to you by Dudzik Chiropractic and MJB Electric. Welcome to ZaBillsPodcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Listener's discretion is advised. Zabills Podcast.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. We'll do it live! F*** it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Fucking thing sucks!
In 5, 4, 3...
And liftoff. Folks, welcome back. We are going deep into the playoffs. Deep.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she said.
Wow.
We'll take it.
You hope.
Yes. All right, Bills win. I feel terrible for Mark Andrews, but thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't care about him.
Nope, not at all. Could have been anybody. I mean,
Oh, sure.
You know.
We've been on the other end of it many
absolutely,
times.
Yeah. Ronnie
Tyler
Harmon.
Bass.
Have you ever heard of Ronnie Harmon?
Yeah, I've heard Rodney Harmon. What about Diggs
there you
last
go.
year, or Bass,
Right,
or
And that's,
Davis, or Stevie Johnson?
that seems
Yeah.
to be the running theme this year for teams that are favorites. It's usually a player, Herbert, Darnold, really costing the entire team. And in this case, that's what happened with Baltimore.
Well, and I feel like Baltimore lost it way before then. I mean, I think the Bills kind of let him back in big time.
In the second half,
Oh, yeah.
when they
Yeah,
started
they
running
played
all over us.
Yeah.
Conservative football
yeah.
the second half.
Well, like I felt like on the offense, we didn't do anything for the longest time. And I thought we could have. I thought we had room there to make a little bit of noise, but they didn't do it at all. So I was kind of surprised. But I thought Lamar Jackson had a big fumble, and then he had the big pick that was like just thrown up there for no reason.
Yep.
That was a bad ball.
I mean, I know he was pressured, but I mean,
That was
it
bad.
wasn't like that, you know.
I mean, people keep hopping on the Mark Andrews bandwagon, but the reality is they were only that far behind because Lamar played sloppy the first half.
Yeah.
And the Bills' defense was so good.
Opportunistic.
Did that hurt
I'll
when
go
you say that?
opportunistic. Yeah, I mean, they were definitely opportunistic.
These guys can't cover anything.
Nope.
I am very nervous about any team that we play,
Yeah, but
including the Ravens.
fair. And it's very fair to be uncomfortable, and sometimes it's good to be a little uncomfortable. But that was the number one passing and number one running team in the entire league. I know it wasn't pretty, but that might be the Jim. I remember when Jim Kelly retired, they played his highlights. It was always him rolling out against Miami in the playoffs and winning. If the season doesn't go like we'd like it to, that game still could go down as like a Josh Allen highlight for his whole career, beating that team, because the Bills were not the better team.
Yeah, and to your point, like this defense, what they showed in that game was what they've been all season.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, he was in from out of town. He doesn't always get to watch the game, so he lives in Virginia, and sometimes they get him, sometimes they don't. And I just said, this is the way the defense plays.
Right.
They look like absolute shit. They can't cover anyone. They can't stop anything. Then they get a turnover.
Yeah.
The red zone happens. They hold teams to 3 points. They just make it happen somehow. I don't know how. It's not really a great way to operate, probably.
Right. But it's not a fluke either. They have the most
there's
takeaways.
Something.
Out of any
to it.
team this year. They have the most takeaways.
Well, like the Bernard one, like that was a great play.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but I don't know. Are we talking next week already, or are we recapping?
No,
still?
I mean,
I don't know.
we can probably recap
I'm like
a
on
little
the,
bit.
on the
gotta
edge of my seat here.
This could be. I mean, this was a great win.
Do you think Josh Allen played well?
No,
Played
Yes.
well enough, but
He
Yeah.
played clean.
Yeah.
he played clean, but no touchdowns in today's NFL. I feel like is kind of crazy.
But he
for
scored.
Josh Allen, not for Sam Darnold or who actually threw
you
touchdowns.
mean like passing touchdowns?
Yeah, because he scored two on his feet.
No,
I
I
mean,
know, and that's kind of like his main thing almost now. But I mean, not to have at least one. Like they didn't throw the ball. They only threw the ball 20 times, something like that.
Yeah,
Right?
16 for 22,
Yeah.
140 some yards.
So it wasn't a horrible game, but I felt like, and maybe it's not Josh's fault. Maybe it's the offense as a whole, coaching, everything. I feel like they didn't put it up there at all. And I'm sure sometimes I haven't looked at like the all 22 and stuff, but sometimes you can't. That's a hell of a good defense. But at the same time, like, let's see what happens. Throw one deep where nobody can catch it. See what happens.
My stepfather, shout out to Larry. What's up, Larry? Sent me a statistic this week to use on the pod. When the Bills, since Josh Allen has been here, when the Bills run the ball at least 50% or more during a game, they're 36-0.
Wow. That'll convince you.
So I think their game plan is probably where you're going, was to pound the ball against them as much as they could.
And we've talked about it. Controlling the game, keeping Lamar off the field, keeping Henry off the field was part of their strategy. And you can't throw a 60-yard bomb and keep them off the field as much as you want.
But then after halftime, they were still going off the field after 3 plays.
That was bad.
Yeah, well,
that was bad.
That was not good. Yeah.
We saw a better team make adjustments, and
They
the
did.
Bills
Did not.
responded with a turnover. They reacted, and
Tim does not agree with you,
Tim-
Sean.
Tim is-
See, I
loaded.
thought the Bills
Okay.
got the lead in the first half, and they played the second half not to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes.
And because if you look at it, most of his passing yardage was the first 2-3 drives of the game.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was just, we got the lead. We're not going to do anything stupid because we don't think that they can score enough points to beat us with this lead.
but it was smart. I mean, we can't take the education out of the game.
I don't know.
Listen,
Hold on,
listen.
hey.
They got that turnover, Bernard's turnover, and regardless of whether or not, and we can debate.
Are you talking the Mark Andrews fumble?
Yes, the punch out. And regardless of what they scored, they got 3, should have had 7, should have iced it right there, and I think we're humming a different tune. They took off with 5 minutes remaining. They took off about 3.5 minutes just in that drive alone. And even kicking that field goal burned off another 40 seconds, just that right there and then. So there's an intelligence to the game that sometimes...
I got a counterpoint to that, but Tim's burning, so I'll let Tim go
Go,
first.
Tim. Bring the heat.
Maybe that works versus the Ravens, but if you go into this weekend with the same mentality, you're going to get burned. You're going to lose. So you had the opportunity to come out there after half and
double
put a
dip
nail in
them.
the coffin.
Yeah, double dip
End
him.
of story. You were up by, 11 going into the half. You get a
Correct.
touchdown there, you're up by 3 scores. And you came out and you played conservative. That's not going to get you through Kansas City.
Question, do you think they were just going to try to run the same thing they were running the whole first half, but Baltimore made the adjustment because it looked like they started bringing the heat in the third quarter where they weren't really blitzing too much in the first half?
It kind of reminded me of the end of the regular season when you already kind of knew where you stood and you played vanilla.
Yeah.
It was vanilla.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of story.
That like screen pass to Knox was like probably one of the worst play calls that I've seen
dude.
all season. I was like, what were we trying to accomplish on that play right there?
Like-
Like he's not the one to even try that with.
Like you were kind of waiting for Josh to come out in the press game. Oh, the second half. Oh, we were just playing vanilla. We were saving stuff for next week.
Yeah, I don't want to show him the
Because-
playbook.
That's what it looked like.
Oh, I hate that. There's no more of that at all.
The
You
cliche?
can't save anything.
No. So,
Like how confident are you that you were going to save that lead and just run the clock out for 2
Yeah, we're going to
quarters?
save it for the end of the fourth
so
quarter
I'm
of the Super
glad
Bowl.
you said that, and you said that. That reminds me of what I want to say. It bothered me when the fourth quarter was going and maybe 5 minutes or so were left in the game. The Bills are starting to get a couple chunk plays, like Ty Johnson gets that nice little ball out of the backfield and scampers up, gets the first down. Those are the plays you should be fucking get the first down, slide inbounds. Everyone wanting to go out of bounds. It's like, do you understand where we are in the game right now? We're up, we're trying to kill time, and you guys are going out of bounds when you guys are getting first down. Stop.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know if that falls on McDermott or not. Oh, I can't take that phone call right now. Or I should put him on the pod. And then we talked pre-pod. Did McDermott blow a timeout when he shouldn't have blown a timeout? Like, should he have had that play ready to go with 3rd and goal and Josh Allen doesn't run it in from the 5 himself? Do you burn a timeout, or should you already know, you know what, if we don't get this, we're kicking it? Mike, you got a thought on that?
Yeah, like we said before, I think that those should be preset. They should know what they're doing going into that. I am going to push back, though, on Denny and Tim. we're so we're so used to Josh having to do it for us. We're so used to the Superman cape, the hero ball, all the things you hear all the pundits say. It was nice to not see that for once.
Sure.
We ran it well. Yeah, we came out in the second half. It was rough, and then we adjusted and we did fine. And look, like Sean said, we beat the number one passing and receiving offense. We ran it against a solid defense. Can we do that against Kansas City? No, I don't think so. The other thing you got to remember, too, is Kansas City has not put up 30 points once this year. And we put up 30 points on a regular basis. So if we can continue to do that.
31.
Yeah, 31. Then you already know my prediction. So I know we're not moving ahead to Kansas City yet, but I think that we played the game that we needed to play to beat the team. Yeah. And what we don't want is to have that same offense come out every game in and game out, because you're not going to beat anybody.
Right.
Once they know your play, they know your playbook. So I liked it. It's nowhere near as fun to watch, of course, but it's not about that. Right now, we're going to the AFC Championship. That's what it's about.
Yeah, and I thought about you on Monday because I was kind of thinking the same thing about, and to clarify what I was saying before, I like the run game, and I think we need both. Is, I guess, more that I was trying to say before. But I was thinking about you, about how, stop complaining. We won the game. No matter how we won the game, we won the game. We're on to the AFC Championship game, and, we'll see what happens.
Because I promise you one thing. If in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, if we're all sitting around here talking about the fact that we are holding that Lombardi trophy, no one's going to give a shit how we got there.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely.
That's crazy to think about one game away. I mean, I guess you look at this Ravens game as your pre-Super Bowl to Kansas City, right? I mean, I honestly am more confident about this game, but then you have to take into consideration that we cannot beat them in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, I think if you just were an outside observer, you're not a Bills fan, you're like, oh, the Bills probably have a good shot, because Kansas City, they're a good team, but the narrative all season has been they're lucky. It's one-score games that they're coming away with. They're 6 lucky plays from having 7 losses.
Right.
And by the way, the only loss they had was the Bills.
Yep.
Double-digit loss.
Yep.
So, the Bills should feel confident going into it. It's just that stigma of Patrick Mahomes and the playoffs.
And the other thing, too, is everywhere everybody's talking about the penalties and the refs and Kansas City and all that kind of stuff. You've got to think that at least, at a minimum, these refs are they need to make sure they're calling legit penalties at this point. Because I mean, when you've got Troy Aikman saying, "Come on," when that on the roughing the passer, it's an issue.
Yeah. And
I saw something about Joe Mixon got fined $25,000 for criticizing the ref, and he goes, "I never even said those words. Where is this coming from?" And he got fined for something he didn't say. I mean, that's how bad it is,
Get a lawyer on it.
So my point is that no, they're not going to just flip it and call them in our favor, but maybe, just maybe, right, they're a little more careful about that.
It benefits us that they're under the microscope.
Yeah,
I think that's the way.
Yeah, and I heard this week also some ESPN pundits talking about the NFL does not like it when there's this kind of speculation around games being fixed, the refs being in on things, that being the headline, stealing away from the actual games, that something that the NFL and the refs are doing is impacting the games. They don't like it. So there's a high possibility that this game, they may just let it play out, swallow the whistles a little bit, and just let the game be the game and not be one of the teams at the end of it is saying, fucking refs did it again, because they don't want that.
Is the ref,
this guy said, I hope it's true. I won't believe it till I see it.
Is the crew been announced on which crew it's going to be?
Yes.
Which is it? A Kansas City usual?
No.
Oh.
It's the Kansas City Usual Hockey League or whatever is doing the other game.
Yeah. They said
highest.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I did see.
This guy throws a shit ton of penalties.
Yeah, but for both sides.
Yeah, both sides. And Mahomes' record against him is 6-5. So it's very even.
It's funny that somebody's got that stat.
Well, it's funny that you said against him because
Yeah.
it sounds like it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. With him.
Yeah.
Are the...
Spit it out, Kyle.
Yeah. I guess we'll just skip to the Chiefs game now, right?
Well, hold on.
Okay.
Throwing props out.
To Bass.
Bass and Hamlin.
Dude.
I'll give it to both of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bass is on fire.
Yep.
I don't want to.
And Hamlin saved a touchdown, right, on Derrick Henry?
I probably should keep talking shit, but
And
he's
he
looked good.
Forced that
Yep.
fumble. Forced the fumble.
Knock on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to introduce this because I think it's a good luck, good mojo. I'm sure it fires up the Buffalo Bills themselves when they listen to our awesomely cool podcast. When we tend to shit on someone, like Oliver, like the whole defensive
Fuck
line.
that guy.
Yep, keep it up. When we shit on somebody, they usually show us up relatively quick. So I think we should go around the table and pick one Buffalo Bill to shit on, give them good mojo so that all of a sudden they bring a little bit extra to the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll start first. Ed Oliver, suck it.
Okay.
I'll gladly go second. I'm going to shit on him because he doesn't deserve to be shit on. I'm going to shit on him because I really believe that all of a sudden he's going to be a factor this week. Amari Cooper. I think he's going to be.
Interesting you brought him up. Okay.
Yep.
But you have to say shit on. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It's
I
part of
do
it.
just because of what we're doing here,
Okay.
but I'm not really shitting on him, but I'll shit on him.
Okay.
I'm not going to shit on him. That's gross. But,
I like
you know,
it.
I think I would shit on Greg Rousseau. I think he's actually playing pretty decent, but I think we could use a little bit more from him, you know?
I want you to know that we love
Can
the
we do
Buffalo
two?
Bills.
Can we
Yes,
do
you
two?
you
All right,
do
I
as
got
many as you
another one.
want. This
Okay.
is really just kind of like to reverse the jinx you, and you're going to have a great game, and we want you to have a great game. But fuck you, we're definitely going to need whoever we're shitting
No,
on.
who are you shitting on?
Oh no! I want.
Who are you picking?
I've got someone.
So say him.
I'm going to say Cook. I'm going to shit all over you right now. Wow. Because the bottom line is I'm going to need you to go for at least 200 yards.
Wow.
Keep Mahone off the field, and I'm
Mahone.
absolutely
Mahone.
yeah.
Poke
Keep
Mahone.
him off the
Burrows.
field, and you run your heart out, young man. But I'm going to shit on you because I got nothing.
Okay. Tim.
I think I'll shit on Dalton Kincaid. Because
Ooh,
I
that's
think
a good one.
Dude, he's
uh,
been absent.
That's a good
I
one.
think you need him and Amari Cooper to step it up this week.
What about Keon Coleman? Where the fuck did he go?
He had a couple of targets.
He had
One. I think he had one, and he dropped it,
They
right?
each had one. No, he had one catch for 5 yards. Between him and Cooper, they had one catch for 5 yards.
Yeah, I
He
know.
did have a nice backflip, though, at the end of the game.
Really good.
that was good.
Awesome.
It means nothing, but it was awesome.
Hey, it was a backflip and victory. That was
Victory
something.
backflip.
That's
Yeah.
the new victory
Hey,
formation.
let's talk about...
Do I get to shit on someone?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you did.
Well, I did kind of
I thought he was
with
gonna-
my
I
props.
thought
We
he
can
was
use
gonna shit on
multiple.
his pizza.
Yeah. I'm going to keep it with Bass.
All right.
Yes, good.
You better fucking hit it.
You made me
You
uncomfortable
better
when
hit
you were
it.
praising him.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
'Cause yeah.
You if 2 years in a row it comes down to Bass hitting a field goal and he doesn't do
tush
it,
Tush push.
yeah, that's a good question. Are you going to go for it this year, or are you going to rely on Bass and give him a chance to redeem himself?
Go for it every time.
We'll see, Sean McDermott.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
Well, actually,
what did I do?
Are you shitting on... Is somebody shitting on him?
I think he's the one to shit on.
Yeah,
Kyle, did you
This
have
is,
another one?
actually, you know what, Tim? That's a great call.
He better bring his A game.
Because this game is going to be Reed versus him. That's...
So and also, so we say a lot about McDermott, but do you think that like Brady is also has something to do with the play calling in the second half also,
I would...
or do you think
assume
McDermott
so.
tells him, "Hey, lock it down, we're running the rest of the game"?
I thought that was the stupidest thing. Like, you are throttling these guys. You are moving the ball up and down the field on them, and then you come out and you start to play conservative?
Right.
That was not the right idea.
It's like the prevent defense.
On
Like
offense.
yeah, exactly. Like you just can't. You know, when you sit in the prevent defense, you let them go. Eventually, they're gonna fuck you over.
Well, and if your offense isn't scoring in line with that, then complimentary football,
Yeah,
complimentary shit.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to my son's statistician, Professor Pizza. He was telling me that there's some thing that came out where it ranked offensive linemen and how many penalties they have this year. Do you know Dan Dawkins is one of the most penalized linemen in the league?
I believe it.
Yeah, but a couple
The
of
one that he
his-
got was not.
That was-
Yeah, that was shitty.
bullshit.
That was
That was a nice move, and that he was,
It was beautiful technique.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big
'Cause
Deion
even,
Dawkins fan.
Romo was like, that's not a penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would also like to take a shit on Epinesa. But then I was going to talk about Von Miller's nice scoop and run.
Yeah.
What did he say after
Did you see
the
that
presser?
video? Did I send that to you
He
guys?
said,
Yeah, I
he said
did.
something
video?
about he's starting off in second gear. He should start off in first.
Yeah. He said he was like dying, and then he said when he got tackled and he hit the ground, both his contacts flew out. Like that's how hard he
That's a
his
great
face
story.
like hit the ground.
Jeez.
That both his contacts.
As long
flew
as the
out.
ball didn't.
Yeah, that's what I was worried
That was
about. I thought he was going
impressive.
to Don Beebe that thing.
Well, he glanced up at the scoreboard. I don't know if you saw it. So I
Yeah.
think he knew the defender was there.
So people say that. So people say like, oh, you could see on the scoreboard, but like, is there like no delay at all in that? Is that just like
In the stadium,
right
there's
that?
not.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
Way to go, technology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except going that direction, he would have to look up into the left in order to see the.
You can see him. He
scoreboard.
does.
Yeah.
And if you watch it again, he does do that. He
It,
looks up.
it makes
slowed
you
him
wonder
down.
if pre-torn ACL,
Yeah.
if he makes it to
Yeah.
the house.
He also had a running back chasing
Yeah,
him down.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, and to that effect too, why aren't these guys kind of like blocking for him too? They're like
Right.
running side by side with him, and they let this guy kind of come in there and
I jumped out of my chair for that play.
yeah.
if you
Yeah,
watch
pretty
the replay of the Taron Johnson pick six on him a couple years ago, the blocking down the field for Johnson was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was
you know,
great,
and
yeah.
you didn't see that here.
Yeah.
I do love though. I don't know if you guys saw this, but prior to the game, someone asked Lamar Jackson about how Buffalo keeps playing that play, and they're like, "Well, they've got to highlight the play; they'll play it." And someone immediately followed that up with the Von Miller. Well, now we have two. So,
Yeah.
like that's fantastic.
And they don't teach that. Like,
No.
like they teach you at a young age to fall on the ball. Because
Yep.
more
That's
often
what I
than
was
not,
screaming.
More
I was like,
often
fall
than
on
not,
the ball. Don't try to pick that up.
I mean, he had a good, his feet were stable. He was in a good spot to scoop it up, and good on him for making it. But more often than not, you're so jazzed up, you run, overrun it, and then. But no, for him to scoop it up and take it 60, 40 yards was really impressive. And I know we kind of bag a little bit on their offensive stats, but where they started because of their takeovers or turnovers they received, I mean, it really cut their field in half for them. And it made this a game that, again, they probably should not have. And I want to give credit to the Buffalo fans, too. Do not want to shit on the Buffalo fans. This was as much of a Buffalo victory as it was a Bills victory. Whether it was the cold, whether it was the crowd, whether it was Fitz with his shirt off, I really felt this was a communal victory, that everyone played a role in this one. If this game's in Baltimore, the Bills lose. I have no doubt. Just like I have no doubt they would have lost against the Rams in the Super Bowl. If this was in Baltimore, they lose.
Still on that?
They do. I mean, I don't think they have a shot. But this was a full Buffalo victory for them. And I want to shit one more time on the referees, because I know you'll fuck this up, but I'm just going to throw it out there. Some good mojo, hopefully, our way. Some good karma.
There you go.
So I'm going to shit on you.
I think America wants to see Buffalo in there.
I think America does too. I've said it forever. I do think we're the one franchise, maybe Detroit, possibly Cleveland, that if the Buffalo Bills or any of those, maybe Minnesota too, are there, the country as a whole will kind of rally. Philly's been there in 2017.
They don't want to see them.
They don't want to see them.
Yeah.
Philly scumbags,
Right,
people
right.
don't really.
Did
like
you see
that.
Did you see the Philadelphia mayor can't even spell Eagles?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that was brutal. That was brutal.
Brutal.
Dude.
I thought you were going to bring up that video of that guy like accosting that that Green Bay fan. Oh, that was brutal.
Guy works for a diversity and inclusion company. Not anymore.
So weird.
I didn't see that video. What's this about? If you can keep it PC.
Yeah,
Play Green
You
Bay.
really can't.
this I won't say the words, but basically this Philly fan had a female Green Bay fan in front of him, and he was just pretty much getting on her about being a woman with a particular body part, and a derogatory term about it.
Okay.
And someone got it,
Classy.
and it went through the internet.
Yeah.
And the internet found out who his employer was, a diversity and inclusion company.
He's probably canned.
He
now.
did. He got canned. Yeah, he got fired.
Gotta be smart.
Within days.
All right.
Can't get away with anything these days. These
Cannot.
kids, I feel bad for them.
Can't see the lines, can you, Russ? Nope. No, you can't.
Man.
What?
I know you guys have already listened. No. When you listen to the pizza podcast, I was going to make that connection with the pizza that we're going to It's like the turkey in Christmas Vacation. Oh,
Look, you can see the heart.
yeah. It looks so good, but then it just tastes so bad.
Yeah.
So, man.
Tried my best.
Anyone concerned if Rapp does not play?
I mean,
And bring up that young boy Bishop, who's not great.
yeah, I'm a little bit. I mean, I think Rapp's done a pretty decent job for the most part.
The fucking guy's got to stop tackling with his head, though.
He's
Well,
like Poyer
now this
2.0.
is his hip now, right?
Yeah, but he still went flying in their head first, and
Yeah.
There's
I
a
guess
reason
my
he's the only
concern
guy
is
wearing
that
a Guardian cap. Besides
No,
Hamlin,
Hamlin.
this
He
game.
got the extra
But it was
large.
like just this game.
yeah.
And Benford's
Like,
got
he
one
hasn't-
on now in practice. He's still in concussion protocol, and he's still non-contact, but he had one on. They just showed him doing reps
Yeah.
today.
So
That's a good start.
Benford got hurt in the onside kick, right?
Yep.
Isn't he the one that recovered it?
No,
No,
I think
Russell
Douglas.
did.
Douglas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but he dove in at it and ended up getting a concussion. So, but the fact that he's in a non-contact doing drills, that's to me,
It's
that's
good.
yeah, that's encouraging.
I saw the video. He looked. I mean, he was moving around pretty quick. So I
Because
mean,
if we're down Benford and Rapp,
yeah, that's rough.
If you have a concussion, should you even be doing that stuff?
Probably not.
yeah, they're well,
yeah,
but
probably
it's
not.
non-contact.
That's why I was saying that it's good.
I
that
know
he's
it's
doing
not contact, but you're still like,
Yeah,
jostling your head around
Yeah,
pretty aggressively if you're a
I
pro
don't-
football player.
If there's much in there to jostle.
yeah. We still got to pass these tests.
Yeah.
I don't even pretend to know what the protocol is and how it works, but I know it's a progression throughout the course of the week. So maybe he's at the point where they're like, okay, you're looking good. You can do this. Still
You
no
would
contact.
think so that they'd be
But-
pretty
Is
much
that a
handling
Bills
like
doctor
gloves.
evaluation or independent doctors?
NFL.
yeah. I think it's independent. Yeah,
Well,
We
they
should
said-
get them on the podcast and ask them what the actual progression actually is.
Say they said on the radio yesterday that once they get to the point that they can practice, that they've already progressed through the first 3 stages
Oh, okay.
because there's 5 stages.
Well, who was shocked to see Ray Davis back?
Me.
I was surprised
there
too,
was
yeah.
no way, and he played well.
yeah,
Yep.
Got the first touchdown.
Yep.
I think that was designed to
100% it was because Josh felt horrible about that
Yeah.
pass. 100% that was.
make good.
Yep.
Okay.
Tim, you weren't at the game, were you?
I was.
And
Oh.
what was
Let's hear it. Let's hear
us,
about it.
Give us some reaction.
How was
You
your
got to start the
tailgate?
game. Tailgate
God.
first.
Tailgate. How much and where?
It was cold.
Yeah, I bet.
I had my sister-in-law here from Baton Rouge, so
Oh, my
frick.
You got her out of the cold.
Well, it's snowing down there too.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
It
Now
was
she
snowing
brought it
down.
home with her.
yeah. I mean, it was pretty cold. So I wouldn't say the tailgate was as lively as it typically would.
Yeah. How early did you
inside-
get there?
About 3 hours before, so about 3:30.
Okay. Same spot?
Same spot.
Same
Just
dollar?
just a little farther back in the lot, but yep, same dollar. Still $50.
Are you a
But-
season ticket holder?
I am.
Okay. Nice.
But I mean, honestly, it wasn't as cold in the stadium as you would have thought.
I've heard that from
There
a
was-
couple people.
There was like no wind.
And all
it
them
was
warm
dry.
bodies?
Like honestly, I felt like the Jets game at the end of the year was worse because it was damp. And
Oh,
it was
yeah.
windy.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was loud. I had no voice by the time I left, but hey.
We appreciate it.
It was worth it.
Yeah.
All of us sitting at home, warm,
Under
eating
a
free
blanket.
food.
Yeah.
yeah.
Appreciate
absolutely.
it.
We knew we had Tim and Herb there.
I was going to say, do you know Blackout? You ever seen his antics at any of your tailgates?
Have you ever been to
You
one
know,
of his
yeah,
tailgates?
you know him, don't you? You
Yeah,
guys went to school together, didn't you?
My brother went to school with his brother,
Oh, okay.
his older brother.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever stood in a circle with him at a tailgate?
For penile erection inspections.
I'll go with no comment on that one.
Yeah.
I was surprised he responded during the game.
Herb, he's on fire. We knew he was okay.
Are we going to
He
give him
was-
his props and read what he said about?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to do it?
You got it pulled up?
Fuck, I gotta find it. now.
All right.
I shouldn't have said anything.
While hold on, while you are looking that up, is there anything from being there that you'll take with you for months, maybe years?
Besides frostbite.
Yes.
No frostbite.
Was there a moment?
You know
was
what?
there-
Hold on. Let's ask him. What was your clothing get up? Like what? How did you? How many layers did you go?
How many layers?
Yeah. Did you go with the layers or did you have like heated equipment?
Jeans and snow pants, the normal hoodie, football jersey, heated vest, and then winter coat.
Okay.
Didn't zipper the coat or anything.
All right.
Honestly, didn't even turn the heated vest on.
Wow.
Wow.
And honestly, you're packed in it like sardines.
Yeah.
It wasn't that cold.
It's good.
Was snow an issue in the stadium for sitting down and all that stuff?
I don't think anyone in that stadium sat.
Okay.
There was no sitting.
I had a friend of mine who was in a box, and he could not sit. So he had to go all the way to the back of the box and pace back and forth. And he had his Apple Watch, which was doing his readings. And I don't know if the watch went off, but his blood pressure dropped in the fourth quarter when the Ravens were driving, and his heart rate was beating. And his brother's a doctor, and he's like, I'm a little concerned about you right now. Yep. I'm a little concerned about you. And he's just like, but that's what the Buffalo Bills will do to you. Like, yeah, he was able to measure his blood pressure fall, his heart rate skyrocket, and that's what we're signing up for, ladies and gentlemen. And sign me up.
But I will say, there were not as many Ravens fans there as I thought there would be.
Well, that's good.
I felt like I saw more orange at the Denver Broncos game the week before than I saw purple and black at the Ravens game.
Oh, man, Mike, you look terrible. What happened to your back?
My back's really sore from carrying this podcast, doing all the research.
Well, I went to Does It Chiropractic to fix my tech neck.
Wow, that's genius.
Folks, if you need a chiropractor, look up Dr. Bob at doesitchiropractic.com or call him at 716-634-6272. He has 2 convenient locations, one on Harlem Road and one in Worley and Harris Hill.
I am a stable genius, I'll say that.
Yep.
I don't know about stable, but
Did you find his herb stuff?
I did, and it's actually the perfect thing to lead us into talking about next week.
Excellent. Do I have a bleep button? Yeah. All right.
Is that the one you're reading?
Yep. Gonna get to use that? Are you reading along?
Maybe.
I'll try to pronunciate different. So thoughts from Blackout, since he can't be here on the upcoming Chiefs game. The only reason, let's put quotations around this. The only reason I worry about the Chiefs is that they're the Chiefs. Mahomes has been pretty damn meh the last 2 years. They have a washed Cahunt at running back, and their D has been getting gashed. No pun intended. He didn't say that. Versus the run the last few weeks, and their O-line stinks. So Herb is quite confident in the Bills' victory, which he has been all season.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just a matter of who scores more points. But
good job, John Madden.
Yep.
yeah.
They will win if you score more points.
Catches that ball in the end zone.
But it's that Chiefs defense, right? That Chris Jones. Is he still having a good year?
He is.
Yeah.
But I'm not as worried about their defense as I was like last year, for instance.
So what frightens you?
Yeah, last year
Just
the defense
Mahomes,
carried him.
Travis Kelce not being covered?
Yeah, I mean, what scares me is the Bills, to be honest.
Themselves.
Yeah, themselves, yeah. So I think the Bills are going to win. And the things that would not make them win, I think, are the Bills. If they make mistakes, I think we're going to get a couple calls that maybe are, kind of not really for us. And, we'll see what happens.
So the refs are going to have a part in this game?
I think so.
Okay.
There is something to be said about the experience that Kansas City has. Like, we talked about the mystique they have.
I've heard their tailgate sucks.
Their tailgate does suck.
Yeah.
It's not even reputable to the point where they don't even really, for the most part, have a tailgate. Bunch of losers.
Mm-hmm.
But
City of losers.
But they're, I think we'd feel that much better if it was in Buffalo. It's not. It's in Kansas City.
Would that be too much pressure to have it here?
No, not at all.
See,
I
I'm
think
not really worried about that part of it because we had it here last year. We messed it up.
True.
And so I feel like, I'm feeling pretty good about the game. Just like I said last week about the Ravens game, I definitely feel pretty good about this game. I feel much better than the Ravens game.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Me too. I said last week on the pod that I thought that last week's game was actually going to be the real Super Bowl. I think between the Ravens and the Bills, those are the two best teams.
You said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that.
And I'm not worried about any team. I'm not even worried about the Chiefs if it weren't for our history.
Right.
Just looking at the Chiefs, I think that team is a fraud. I really think they are. Yeah, they're kind of playing better football now going into the playoffs, but I still don't think they have it. I don't think that Mahomes is going to be able to do what he usually does. I think we're going to pull it off. I really do. And that's not just being a Bills fan. If I was an outside observer, I've seen this Chiefs team. Every single game they've played this year, I've almost watched every single one. And at least the last quarter. And they just get away with murder. I don't know what happens. Like, they are the luckiest team I've ever seen. And if they're lucky again against us, I don't know what I'll say next week.
Yeah, I mean, Kyle, you always say that head or heart. Or you think with your head, you think with your heart. I would say both on this one.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
You know, and something else, too, is last week, Kansas City, they only put up 23 against Houston. Houston put up 14 on them, and that's a banged-up offense with most of their – they have 2 starting receivers out. The third one got hurt during the game, and they managed to put up 14 with a quarterback that at the beginning of this year touted himself as better than Josh Allen, who was pedestrian at best. You know, so I think that our offense, to back Tim up from the conversation earlier, they can't come out being conservative, and they need to just come out and do it. Because think about the games in the past that we have lost to them. They were shootouts, and we always ended up losing in the end. I think this is the year that the defense will finally make it so we don't have that shootout at the end. Just like we did when we played them earlier in the year. We were up by 2 scores. I think that's where we end up again this year. God, I hope I'm right, but I believe that that's where we end up.
Is Milano back to being Milano yet?
He did his part.
yeah, I think it's close, yeah.
Okay.
He did his part. My question is, do we use Milano to shadow Mahomes or Kelsey? Because Kelsey, regardless, ate them up. Like, he ate up the Texans.
Yeah, he did too. We can't
He's not even that,
leave
he's
him
not
open.
even that fast anymore, so you got more options.
But
to
he's
put
wide
on, right?
open over
I know,
the middle all the time. Like, it's so frustrating. Even watching him when we're not playing him. The Texans game, he was wide open. I'm like, what is happening?
Well, I was going to say, the way that the Bills play defense, get ready for more of that. Don't be surprised, because that's what the Bills do. He's going to be wide open over the middle again. It's just, can you put a body on him soon enough after that and bring him down?
Hey, but maybe you sit there and you put somebody on, Benford or someone, as a shadow and take him completely out of the game. Yeah, you're taking a player out from whether it's the run or the pass or whatever, but if you can take him out of the game, I would like to see what that was like for Kansas City.
I think the D-line's got to step up big this week.
They just got to contain. They just got to contain. I don't, and this is not a knock on Mahomes. I don't think he's as mobile as Lamar. I don't.
yeah.
I think Lamar's a much more
See,
athletic.
I agree, although I think in the playoffs, especially the playoffs, Mahomes tends to find a way to scoot for 20
He's
yards
a
down
smart,
the field.
very smart quarterback.
He gets his yards big time, and especially in the playoffs, I've noticed. So I think that you got to set the edge, just like we talked about with Lamar, actually too. And that's why I picked Greg Russo as being the guy that I shit on, kind of.
Yeah.
Because he's got to step up. We've been waiting for 2 years, year and a half, for him to really step up. And occasionally he shows flashes and he plays well.
He must be mentored by Ed Oliver.
He must be, But I would say stay away from that fucker because we need you on Sunday.
Yeah. So watching the Ravens game, did you think that the Bills D-line did the right thing, if that's that they did it intentionally, try to keep Lamar in the pocket and let him stand back there for as long as he did, as opposed to trying to rush him and maybe he slips past you and does get big chunk plays?
I don't know that they held back and didn't try to get to him. I think what they were doing was trying to get to him more from the outside to keep him contained in the pocket, and they were stopping us, plain and simple. Yeah. Obviously they're going to want to get to him, so the offensive line on the Baltimore did a good job of stopping our D-line.
Because that was very frustrating on that touchdown pass, where he's just standing around, looking and pointing.
That last one?
Oh, my God.
It's terrible.
Well, that's the thing with Lamar Jackson, too, is that, just like Josh Allen has grown, he has grown, too.
Yeah.
And he didn't used to be as good a passer as he is now. And he is, not as, I wouldn't say he's as tough as Josh Allen, but he's very similar in that he can run. And now he is pretty accurate with his throws, and he's a pretty good passer as well. Mm-hmm. So I think, maybe they did try to, keep him in the pocket and make him beat him passing, and he did for the most part. It's not his fault that people drop the ball.
A little bit it is, I think. Because I think
Not
a few
Mark Andrews.
Well, the first Mark Andrews drop, he dropped one like early first quarter, like along the sidelines, and it was thrown like kind of behind him and like down a little bit.
Right.
So it was technically a drop, but
He
it
did the
wasn't
same
like
thing to Derrick Henry.
Not a good throw.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
the same
remember
thing.
the Derrick Henry one. Yeah,
And there might be a third one of somebody I'm forgetting. So there was definitely some things that he wasn't throwing great on. But, I mean, there are things that you also should probably catch if you're a professional.
Right.
If you're on a defensive line, right, it's one thing to be keying on the running back. It's one thing to be keying on the quarterback. That Baltimore Ravens team on offense was a two-headed monster.
Right.
Just a two-headed monster. We saw against Pittsburgh, different team, but we saw Lamar run all over Pittsburgh.
299 rushing yards. in that game.
Just stopping one of them's a feat.
Right.
And they kept Derrick Henry down less than 100 yards. That in itself, even at a loss, would be an accomplishment. So being on the defensive line, trying to contain both of those is mind-numbing. Preparing for the run, preparing for the pass, trying to keep them in.
And a big difference, too, that we didn't see a lot of was them blitzing from the back, like Taron Johnson, for example.
Yes.
Where, and a quarterback like Mahomes, I think they're more apt to do that. Because, he'll scramble. He'll pick up a first down. He's not going to take it home.
He's not going to kill you.
Right. And their running backs, I mean, they're solid, but they're not Derrick Henry. They're not Saquon Barkley. You know what I mean? So I think we might see some more of that. We might see some more blitzing from the DBs and things like that. So that's my thoughts.
Go back to the Ravens game. Based on Josh Allen's game and Lamar's game, do you still feel confident that Josh Allen is MVP?
I do.
After watching that game.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't
Yeah,
count. But yes, he elevates everybody around him. He doesn't have
turnovers for me.
Yeah.
I think if Josh Allen loses, we're less soured by it. That's what I took away from it, was that, you can have the MVP. We got to advance.
Sure.
If Lamar comes in and he wins the game, he goes on and we lose, it's almost more salt in the wound that Josh Allen also lost the MVP to this guy. Whereas I think as a fan base, we're comfortable if Josh loses because we got to go on. We beat, to be the man, you got to beat the man. We beat the man.
Yep.
We beat him twice.
Okay.
If you want to win MVP, I'll take the playoff victory.
Or I'll take MVP of the Super Bowl. That's fine, too.
Me too.
True that.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Okay. What were we talking about before I pulled that out?
No idea.
Okay.
But I like it.
Okay.
I like where we're headed. I do feel a little more, but there is that mystique. We're not at home. Kansas City's got that experience. They seem to have our number. I know, I'm sorry, Corey, for this one, but I lived through it as a young Bruins fan.
Oh, my God.
Losing.
Land the plane.
Losing all the time to Montreal. I know what it's like. I also know what it's like when you beat them. Yeah. And it's a different, it doesn't matter if it's the first round, second round. When you beat that opponent for the first time in a long time, it feels really good. I'm hoping it propels this team.
Damn, it's going to be 30 degrees at kickoff.
Yeah.
I was
be
just
warm.
looking that up, too, to see what this weather was.
30
like.
degrees.
Balmy.
Hope you have sunscreen.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Well, and even if it was cold, like Mahomes is not, Tagovailoa. He's not even Lamar.
Yeah.
He's used to playing in these conditions at Arrowhead. It wouldn't be a story that it's cold and somebody can't play in it. It would be two teams that are totally used to it. So
hey, another Bills playoff game where it's super cold and one or two guys get hurt. Happens all the time.
Yeah, but interesting fact, sort of off topic, I read, which we've been kind of clamoring on and off this season about a dome, probably like a dome too. They were critical of Detroit, and this kind of came out of left field, but it made sense. Their only losses were to home, and their defense seemed to struggle in a dome-like atmosphere. They were not as competitive. Every single loss Detroit had was at home, and they're like, that was
the two losses.
The one that counts, right? I mean that was.
Don't understand your point.
The point was this one argument against having a dome in Buffalo was that it actually hurt them because the conditions were perfect, which hurt their defense.
So you're a fan of having the weather affect the other team more?
I finally found another argument for why they're doing what they're doing, which is keeping the stadium part open, covering the fans, which is what they should do. Not have fans come in for $20 an hour to shovel. I think that's good. But I was like, maybe this whole dome business is maybe we're wrong. Maybe that is the way to do it.
And I think this conversation will obviously, when Zabills is still around in 2 years and the stadium opens, we should have this conversation after a heavy snow.
Yes.
Because right now they're saying, we don't need to have a dome. 60% of the seats are covered. The way that we've designed this stadium, the wind doesn't affect it. The grass is going to be heated. You'll barely even notice, any snow. That the roof has, melting capabilities. Yeah. So, it's going to be like it's a dome, but it's not a dome.
Right.
I don't believe that for a second. I really want to see if that really happens.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with that because they say a lot of good things, and hopefully they're mostly true, but we'll see for sure.
So what's heated grass playing like?
Soft. It's soft.
So it's going to be gross.
It's not going to be rock hard. Like
is it going to be gross?
It's going to be like normal. It's not going to be like soggy, right?
I don't think so. No, it's all about
because there's like drainage as well.
Yeah. They were talking about the state of the art drainage and everything else. So
it all better be state of the art, but it'll be cushy where it won't be like playing on concrete.
Right.
So you talk about guys getting hurt. That's part of it.
Tim, did you buy in for the new stadium?
Well, I'm in the cheap seats, and they haven't gotten to me yet as far as...
okay.
So this is like the good seats go first.
They're up to 100 level corners. Okay. And they've done all the clubs. They haven't done anything else.
Okay. Have you been forecasted of what they might get you?
I heard 100 level corners is about $6,000.
The PSL?
PSL.
Ugh.
So... we'll see.
Where are you? You're in the threes?
I pay $1,500 for my 2 seats for the whole year right now.
Steal.
So
yeah,
obviously it ain't gonna be $1,500, but we'll see what what it goes for.
What are you willing to pay?
I don't know. To be perfectly honest,
like if they come to you and they say it's going to be $5,000 a seat,
I'll never sell my wife on that one.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I think a lot of Western New Yorkers are thinking. Like that's a lot of money to pay for just the opportunity to pay more for your tickets. It's tough. It's in this market. I think it's tough.
And
that's a whole nother conversation. Though.
This guy that was at our tailgate, or the last game I went to, the Jets game, he just had his PSL meeting, and apparently they have some kind of an arrangement with M&T Bank where you could take a loan out
for
M&T Bank for no interest. I don't know how they're doing it, how M&T's making out on it, but there's some kind of thing with that. So I don't know. Again, it was at a tailgate. Don't hold me to that, but that's what this dude was mentioning.
M&T will probably get a nice sign up there to
I was going to say they're a big sponsor right now, so maybe they're just getting that business, and hopefully if people have their loans there, they bring their other business there.
Interesting.
So, hopes, fears, dreams?
Yeah, let's do it again.
You go first.
I hope that the Bills play the game that they're destined to play. I hope we saw glimmers of that against Baltimore. They receded a little bit as the game went on. I hope that the McDermott learns that we're going to push twice on the 3-yard line.
Yep.
Because my God, how that would have blown up had they lost. My dream is that they do what we hope that they do, and they find a way and they win. And my fears is that we just again I hate that mystique. I want more than anything else for Taylor Swift to have a nice, relaxing sort of vacation.
Sure.
She doesn't have to tour. She doesn't have to follow Kansas City around. Let that woman rest a little bit. She's earned it. and that we don't have to see her or Caitlin Clark again.
Sounds like a Swiftie.
What's up with that? You think now everybody hates Caitlin Clark because she was at that game now with Taylor
Whatever.
Swift?
She can have friends. We're a Swiftie family, so.
But
go
do you
for
think
it.
she's only friends with her because, whatever? Or is she
Maybe. You talking about her orientation?
What
are we talking
she
about?
has one? I didn't know she was
I think she's.
lean that way.
No, she's straight.
She is?
Yeah.
I thought she wasn't.
One
Way
of
to
the
assume, Kyle. Jesus Christ.
thought she
Female
wasn't.
athletes
No, she has
doesn't
a
mean they're
boyfriend.
lesbians.
Not that this is a WNBA podcast, but one of the biggest problems that people say that she is that she's a straight white female, and that's why the WNBA's get the other players give her such a hard time. But she is. Yep.
All right. Well, I'll edit that out.
Yeah,
Not my problem in my career. I know that.
right. So that's what I hope. I hope the referees won't. I hope the mystique won't. I don't think it's going to be a coaching issue. I think they've matured and they're ready to go. But
Really?
that's my
You're not
fear.
concerned at all with McDermott coming up to his protege?
Honest to
This
God,
is not
like
your
fucking-
hopes,
I
fears, and dreams, Kyle. This
I'm
is
questioning
this is
his.
Sean.
I
What
wanted-
about in that movie Waterboy? What was the
Yeah.
two coaches' names?
Yeah, I wanted to save
Red, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And Fonzie.
Yeah.
Love Fonz, Henry Winkler, I love you. I wanted to save this, hoping the Bills. I could use it for next week.
Okay.
There's a great story. Sorry, Corey. It's a hockey story.
And look at that, we're out of time. Thanks for joining, folks.
Just before the Team USA plays Finland for the gold medal game, Herb Brooks walks into the locker room. I really was going to save this for next week, but I'm like, I got to do it now. He walked in the locker room, and his pep talk was real simple. He walked in right to the center of the floor, and he looked at every single one on Team USA and said, if you lose this game, you'll take it to your fucking graves. He turned around to walk out of the locker room. He stopped, turned around, and the entire team pointed at him and said, your fucking graves. If the Bills lose this game, like we hope they don't, I have a funny feeling this will be the one that they, you take it to your graves. And that's, if I'm McDermott, that's the speech I give him. You want to be jazzed up. You want to be ready to play. You want to be knock the doors down. You do something like that.
Well, this is the second time we're facing the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, right? The first
Third
one
in the
was
playoffs.
3 years ago, and that was 13 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
All
they
right.
said that no team has ever lost to the same quarterback 4 times in the playoffs before.
I did hear that.
All
Yeah.
right.
We're tied with the Brady Manning matchups in the playoffs right now, as far as number of times they've matched up. I think like no other team matchups have
I
happened.
think they
before.
have the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said that no team has ever lost to the same quarterback 4 times.
That's good. That's good. Real good.
Let's not set that record.
No.
Tim, hope, dreams, fears.
My hope is that we play to win offensively. We don't go overly conservative, and we play to score. We play to win. My fear, Mahomes busts out his voodoo magic. And then my dream, well, we're packing our bags for New Orleans.
Are you going if they win?
No.
Oh, okay.
6 G's a ticket right now.
Only if ZaBillsPodcast decides they're going to pay for it and we're going to pod live.
You know
I
what?
need a few more sponsors.
I wonder if we could. You never know.
Call him up.
Tax write-off.
Hey, Dr. Bob. Mike.
My hope is that we do everything that I know we're capable of doing to win that game. Simple as that. My fear is that we don't, and that all the Mahomes stuff and the refs and all that come into play. My dream is that we are all sitting here next week talking about our next game.
Oh, big Super Bowl episode.
I'll drink bourbon if they win.
Ooh,
whoa, whoa.
I won't eat
People-
I won't eat Taco Bell, but I
No,
will drink
you're
bourbon.
eating Taco Bell.
No, they got to win the Super Bowl. If
No,
they,
you're doing that after the season anyways, bud.
well, I'll be depressed. I'll actually be elated if it's in a Super Bowl win.
Okay. At a Super Bowl party. Speaking of that, we'll talk about that after a minute here. But all right, Brendan.
All right.
Not skipping you, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My hope, obvious. I hope they win this game. My dream is that they win this game healthy.
Oh.
Everybody comes out healthy. They're going to the Super Bowl with the full roster of guys. Everybody is rip-raring to go, and we can play the Super Bowl with no excuses.
You took it from me, you bastard.
Son of a bitch. Sorry about that. Make up something else. Hurry, I'll give you a minute more.
Thanks.
My fear is that we are coming out of that game with a new tagline of another Bills loss. Wide right, 13 seconds, Music City Miracle, fucking 4 losses to Mahomes in the playoffs. Something stupid. You know, the Kelsey pitchback shuffle bullshit. Okay? I don't want any of that. That's my nightmare. Onwards.
Hold on, before you go.
Okay.
Did you guys see when Josh Allen got, like, soaked up on that one play? And didn't it look like he was looking for somebody to pitch the ball to him? Like, hold on
Did
to
you
that
see
ball.
his interview about that today?
Yeah.
No.
Or was it today or the other day?
Yeah, days ago.
They asked him. They said, were you looking to pitch that back? And he says, no.
With a big, you can't see it, but
Yeah.
Brendan's got a nice smile on his face,
Yeah.
and that's what Josh did.
And they said, would younger Josh Allen do that? He said, absolutely. and so it's showed how he's matured a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why I think we're going to win. Because Josh Allen, it's the 7th year of Josh Allen, not the 1st or 2nd.
Right.
And so I would say, like, my hope would be that we bring Lamar Hunt Trophy back to Buffalo, as opposed to being at home, I guess, in Kansas City, because it's named after the Kansas City founder.
Yeah.
So that would be my hope. My dream, I guess, is to win the Super Bowl, but to win the game to get to the Super Bowl. Fears, hopes, what else?
Dream.
Yeah, fears. My fear is always that we lose. I mean, keep it real simple, short and sweet. I don't think we're going to lose. I think we're going to kick some ass on Sunday.
Okay.
But, that's about it.
Wouldn't it be nice to just be sitting here talking about, like, I can't believe that we beat the Chiefs like 30-7.
Yeah. I can't believe Josh Allen threw 6 touchdown passes in a playoff game.
Yeah, I can't believe how bad Mahomes looked. He's supposed to be such this great guy. God damn. 3P is a joke.
Yeah. I can't believe Travis
Can't wait to
Kelce
have that
broke an ankle.
conversation. Yeah.
All right, well, those are the type of things that would be my dream, is the Bills win by, like, 3 scores, something like that. My fear is that Hero Josh ball comes out because they get caught up behind, Hopes is that McDermott gets his head out of his ass for this and doesn't waste a timeout to decide if he's going to kick or not because they got stuffed on 3rd and goal and they're at, like, the 3-4 yard line and he's nervous about going for it, and you got to get points against Kansas City. Got to get points. Here's another question. And I saw this clip from Nick Wright. He said that he thinks that Josh Allen is white-knuckling it almost every game to be the Josh that he's supposed to be, or he truly is a gunslinger. And that he's grown and matured into this guy who's become where he's super clean and responsible with the football. Do you think that guy is still in there, that he's really trying to be the guy he is, and it's kind of maybe holding them back from having an explosion in a game?
I mean, I think he's still in there, but I don't think – I think Josh Allen has evolved. And I think that's what, like, all the greats do. Like, Peyton Manning didn't win a Super Bowl until, what, year 7 or 8? What year is Josh in? 7. So, like, little things like that. I really think Josh Allen evolved.
Okay.
Well, and I don't know how you can say that he's being held back or holding himself back when – look at this season. Look at the explosive plays he has had.
Yeah.
Look at some of the throws he has had. He's still got that ability. He still runs over people. He still makes ridiculous sideline throws that nobody in the league makes. You see any of these other quarterbacks running towards a sideline, they're actually running out of bounds. They're not looking down the field. If they look down the field, it's to throw the ball 10 yards out of bounds.
Yeah.
Nobody else can make a throw like Josh Allen does down the sideline.
Yeah.
I think that the comment is stupid because those reasons and his evolving, as we just put it, is the reason he's in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I agree.
And you kind of just said it, but the one thing that we cannot forget is that Nick Wright's a moron. Simple
No,
as
I
that.
know. I kind of was like reading that. I was listening to him seriously, and I'm like, you know what?
I don't listen to him seriously at all.
That might have some validity there.
It's fair, but the proof is in the pudding. I'm sorry, Tim. I'll let you get back to it in a second. The proof is in the pudding.
It was going right around, and then Sean just
I just cut right him off.
Right.
Sorry,
Damn
Tim.
Bruins fan.
I know, unbelievable. This is what we get every week with this guy.
He kind of saw with his own eyes last week, right? Sometimes you need to be convinced, and sometimes you need to be convinced repeatedly. He saw a little bit of hero ball in Lamar Jackson. He saw Lamar Jackson mess up. I mean, that was Josh Allen 3 seasons ago, gunning 2 interceptions or making a play or a throw he shouldn't have made. Sometimes you can be convinced, and sometimes just by seeing proof in the pudding. I don't think he's itching to be hero Josh. I think he's finally bought into, I can be a great player, or we could be a great team. And he, this entire season, he's erred on the side of being a great team. Go ahead, Tim.
You know, there's 2 things that have looked different this year. One, going back to the team, he looks like he's having fun. Like, even if you go there and it's a season ticket holder, you watch him on the sidelines between drives. They're talking, they're joking around, whereas before they'd just be sitting there on the bench staring at iPads. Like, it's almost like he was so serious that he forgot football was fun. But I think the other piece to it is he trusts the people he's with. Like, before, it's like, I feel like he was so locked on Diggs, whether it's because you had to feed Diggs or Diggs would have a temper tantrum, or he really didn't trust anyone else. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you've kind of built this team around him where he doesn't feel like he has to put the team on his shoulders and carry him to victory, because he knows that there's other people around him that can have a huge impact on the game. I think that's more the evolution. If you look at Josh, if you rewind 3 years ago, he felt like he had to chuck the ball over the place, and if he wasn't chucking the ball over the place, they weren't going to score, they weren't going to win.
Right.
Now?
Yeah, because it was interesting. They showed stats from, who was it? It was Josh's stats, Lamar's stats, Jaden Daniels' stats, and I think, Mahomes and Hurts. And Lamar Jackson's was like, 22 of 30 or something, 250-some yards, 2 touchdown passes. Josh was 16 of 22, 0 touchdown passes, 140 yards. Jalen Hurts, 150 yards, 16 of 18. You know what I mean? Like, Lamar was the only one that had these quarterback numbers for the day. Everyone else was, efficient.
Well, the thing about stats is that they don't tell the whole story at all. And,
well said.
I've always thought that, because I play a lot of fantasy football for the most part, it's really, we always talk about garbage time and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can pick that up real easy and things like that. You have to watch, if you actually watch the game, if you watch a game or you watch highlights, it's 2 different things to me. Because I do that all the time, where I'll watch the Bills game. Sometimes I'll watch it a second time. I'm that into it. And then I'll watch highlights of a different game. But then I hear people talk about the other game, so I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should watch some more stuff here. You don't get anything from the highlights, or you get very little. You're like, oh, this is what this guy was talking about, that kind of stuff. So I really think that Josh Allen right now is kind of coming into, like we said, evolving earlier. It's where everything calms down. Like, we always talked about how he has to listen to Frank Sinatra to calm himself down and things like that. I think he just does that now because he likes it. And I think that everything has calmed down. It's a whole season of him. What do you have, six interceptions, right? I think over the whole year. So none of the playoffs.
Absurd, right? When you look at last year and how they're like,
that's what
let's
I'm saying.
see if the interception train can continue every single game.
7 games, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can look at it, it's a whole season worth of games. We're not talking about 1 or 2 where you had 1 or 2 good games with no interceptions or whatever. It's a whole year.
Yeah.
So, and plus he's one of the best, as Herb likes to say, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in the playoffs.
Yep.
Right. So we'll go there.
There's one thing I want to mention too, and it shouldn't go unnoted. You usually see it at the end of the game, but there has been this vibe of this internal love and mutual respect amongst the team. And same thing with, I can't remember which championship team brought it up. It was the Bulls or the Bruins or Team USA. a championship team does not really win unless they all love each other. And that's one thing you've seen this entire year play out, whether it's Deion Dawkins talking about his quarterback or whether it's Allen talking about his coordinator. I mean, you could see that locker room is tight. And that doesn't really show up in stats or scores or whatever, but I truly believe that's an ingredient you need to be a truly championship team.
Yep. And you, Tim, mentioned Diggs before. I'm sure you've all seen the quote, the interview with Amari Cooper from yesterday, where this guy's been targeted twice for 8 yards or something like that.
It was amazing.
And he doesn't care. He's like, I'm where I want to be. I've never been this far. This is, which is another reason why I brought it up earlier. I think he's going to have a big game. And the other thing, too, you said stats, the stats don't always tell. There's only one stat that matters. That's it. And as long as we're there at the end, I don't care how we get there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well said.
Yeah, very well said.
They don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's right. What was I going to ask? Damn it.
What do you think about this Bills Mafia Facebook group? Do you think this thing fucking sucks or what? Have you ever read any of the posts that these guys put out there?
Who?
I try not
The
to.
Bills Mafia Facebook group. Are you part of this thing?
No.
I still think a majority of them are trolls.
I think so too, or they're like the biggest idiots on the face of the earth. I think that they just, saw like a group that they were like, oh, these people are pretty cool. I'm going to join this group, and then I'm just going to like post things, even though I have never watched a Buffalo Bills game in my entire life or something like that. These posts after these games, I'm going to tell you, are some of the dumbest things that I've ever read. And I pride myself of not reacting to people on Facebook. I see people post dumb shit all the time. I type something out and I delete it. And I say, there's no point in getting into this. I hit send on this fucking group. I'll tell you, these people are some of the dumbest people I've ever seen. There's this one guy, he posted something right after the game was over, and it was not in jest. He clearly did not watch the game at all. And he said, oh, how did our $140 million man do this game or whatever? And he's talking about Von Miller. And it's like, did you even watch the fucking game? Like,
right.
He actually had like probably his best Bills game ever because of that one fumble recovery. And then another person, they're posting these clips of Lamar Jackson talking where he's like talking about how, turnovers are unacceptable and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you had 2 of them. And it's like, yeah, he's fucking talking about himself. Like, I can't leave this group because I have to see the dumb shit that comes out of this group. But it puts such a bad name on the Bills Mafia. It just infuriates me.
Dennis, it's like that Buffalo Pizza
That's what I
Wing
was
group.
thinking, yeah.
That we're all in.
The comments are the best part.
Oh, my God. These posts, if you're not in this group, go join it and just go look at what's happened over the past week, over the past year. The posts are like, oh, my God, I can't believe that I'm associated with you, even though I'm not associated with you.
Share it to the thing or invite some of us.
And every time a player is cut from another team or there's a rumor that he's available, we need him. We
gotta
get
get him.
Every single
We
time.
have no
Doesn't matter
cap
who it
space.
is.
This guy's demanding millions of dollars. Oh, my God, I can't believe we didn't get Devontae Adams. Well, you know why we didn't get him? We don't have any money.
Yeah. The Raiders cut their 3rd-string kicker. We need to sign him right now.
Amari Cooper's been such a disappointment. Like you have no clue what you're talking about.
I mean, I wish he's been more productive, but
I still stand by he takes away the defender.
sure, like Gabe Davis.
The thing you were talking about, his interview yesterday, that was amazing to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
Refreshing,
Yeah.
Thoughts, concerns, worries about if Joe Brady gets a job somewhere else?
No.
First of all, I don't think he will. Second of all, I don't have any worries that,
the replacement will be just fine.
Yeah.
Who the hell would you get?
Well,
I mean, Josh Allen's uncle, I don't know.
Right. I mean,
Us?
Yeah.
it's about. I had an analogy.
What about consistency?
I don't care who you have, as long as that person has faith in Josh Allen, we're fine.
Right.
If you try to handcuff Josh Allen, like what's his name did,
Ken Dorsey,
then that's a different out. That you start letting
Right.
Josh be Josh. I've said it before. I know they're not the same, but I kind of compare Josh's knowledge of the game to almost like a Peyton Manning. Almost. I understand Peyton's a prodigy, but I still think that Peyton Manning could have run his offense without a coordinator.
I agree.
And I don't think Josh is there, but I think that he's got a huge input in the collaboration on whoever's up there.
Well, and the only reason he has to leave is to get a head coaching job. Why would you leave
Josh Allen,
Right.
this team that is a perennial Super Bowl contender and will be for the next at least 5 years, you got to think.
Sure, while Josh Allen's here.
Sure.
I think he's scheduled to have a second interview with the Saints.
Yeah, I think only the Saints and Jaguars are
And
left.
that's it.
Right.
That's the
So
only
why would
reason
you
you
go
would
there?
leave, I would think.
I mean,
Jaguars are going to. The guy from Tampa Bay went back there today.
yeah, I
I
heard
saw
that.
that,
Yeah.
Who? Todd Bowles?
No,
the
Liam
offensive
something.
coordinator.
Yeah.
As soon as they fired Trent Baalke.
Yep.
That's a dumpster fire, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, why would you want to leave what you got to go that?
Yeah. Yeah. The grass isn't always greener. That's for sure.
Josh McDaniels did it for years with Brady. He stayed there. He's back there now,
And he's got hired again. Yeah.
With Vrabel.
Yeah,
That could equate to something.
Yeah, I mean, that team's probably the second best team in the AFC.
Well, it's interesting to
Or
see that
East. AFC East. Sorry.
It's interesting to see that the Jets
Keyword.
and the
Patriots.
Patriots they both got defensive coaches.
You don't think so?
No.
Who'd the
Who's
Jets
better?
hire? Aaron Glenn?
Aaron Glenn.
You're talking about next season?
Yeah.
I would still put Miami above them.
Really?
Yeah.
The Patriots?
Oh, going in next year?
Patriots got good draft seeding,
I don't care.
and now they got good coaching.
Prove it to me.
Patriots are going to be better.
Drake
than the
May's
Bruins next year.
legit.
That might be right.
their backup's legit.
There's teams calling about him already.
I still think Miami's got at least one more shot before they tear it down. I think they'll
Cheetah's probably going to leave.
he's not going to leave.
They can't play in December and January.
Good luck
I-
keeping Tua healthy.
Yeah,
He's got
I
to
know.
populate some other state.
They'll mark
Yes.
my words. They'll be. They probably won't make the playoffs. Neither will the Patriots, but they'll be higher than that.
So, okay,
They scare me more than New England.
bold prediction on January 23rd of 25. You're predicting the order of the AFC East ends how next year?
Bills, Dolphins, Jets, Patriots.
Last.
Wow.
Last.
Yeah,
With like arguably the second best quarterback in the division.
he's not surrounded by anybody. Their defense is awful. I mean, they have
I don't
years.
know.
They have years.
I didn't think their defense was that bad.
They have years. You saw them against second stringers. I mean,
Tim says no.
well, Tim.
I say no.
Go ahead, Tim. Where are you ranking them, buddy? Go for it.
Who, New England?
Yeah, AFC East next year. How does it fall?
Buffalo, New England. I don't know. Jets, Miami could be a toss-up. Depends on the Jets quarterback. But
And their head coach.
at the end of the day,
They got to fire
May's the
that
second
dude.
best quarterback in the division.
Drake Mayo's good.
Great. What was his record this year?
Well,
Well, you figure you're gonna add what, the fourth pick,
but he's young though.
and you got what, $130 million in cap space to spend. T. Higgins is gonna be there.
Yeah,
Why don't you add Travis
I think
Hunter
Drake
to it
Mayo
too, and
looks
let him
better
have
in
some
his
fun?
rookie season than Josh Allen did.
Oh my God! All right, we're gonna say goodnight, ladies and gentlemen. The podcast is over.
I'm going to go Bills.
Oh,
I'm going to go Bills.
What?
Bills, Miami, New England Jets.
I'm going to stop you right there. What was Drake Mayo's record? He won 3 games. Josh Allen, his first year.
Josh Allen won 6. So.
That's double. Double.
He looks
Well,
good.
Josh Allen might be double the quarterback he is, but he's still the second best quarterback in the division.
No,
I would take Drake Mayo over Tua.
And he's only going to get better. He's going to develop and get better.
You're just upset because the Patriots are about to pass the Bruins as the best team in Massachusetts.
Listen. I hope I'm
Hey,
right.
you wanted
You're all
hot
wrong.
takes. You wanted hot takes.
I know. That's
New England is definitely not losing the division next year.
we need. I'll tell you what.
Okay.
It's a little unfair now. I'm glad you dated it. I mean, let's see what they do in free agency. That draft, the fact that they can't trade that number 1 pick, which they would have got a bounty for, is going to kill them. It really is going to set them back. I think they're 3 years before they make any sort of noise. 3 years.
Oh, I think it'll be probably Bills, Patriots, and then the Jets and Dolphins are kind of like you said, a toss-up.
You ready for your Stone Cold take? I'll bet you the Patriots make the playoffs next year.
Oh, let's put some coin on this, eh, Mike? Mike, what's the odds? What's the odds, Mike?
Get a parlay on that.
That's a big stretch.
When the Patriots make the playoffs next year,
I think
Sean gets
coaching has a
himself
lot
a
to do
piece
with
from
it.
Taco Bell.
He's going to have Taco Bell before that, buddy.
I'm hoping to have Taco Bell before that.
He has to eat Taco Bell every day.
My
for the
comment
whole
to you,
season.
though, on that draft pick is that
They really did
they
fuck
didn't
themselves.
need a. Well, they did because they would have traded it back, but like they didn't need a quarterback anyway. They're not
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah, but you're
the guy they
talking
wanted
about-
at 1. They're going to get at whatever position they're. What 4?
4.
Yeah.
There's always a lot of talent in the NFL draft. Oh, it's not like the NHL where you get two guys. And
God.
then right?
But
So,
it's positional though.
I get
They
that.
weren't going for quarterback.
Someone might be stupid enough to give them for that to trade up for that number 1 pick. Someone might be stupid enough to give them 3 first-round draft picks, a couple of 2, something ridiculous. And now you get to reinvent yourself on a much quicker level.
Carolina did
Who's
it
number
the
one?
last
The
couple years
Giants
ago.
or Tennessee?
What's that?
Tennessee,
Tennessee?
but
They need a QB.
But it's-
Giants
yeah.
need a QB.
Yeah, they're all taking QBs for sure.
Jacksonville's not.
But I mean,
Maybe.
you have 2 QBs, and then you have 2 elite prospects in the defensive end from Penn State and Travis Hunter. Who knows what he's going to be wide receiver, cornerback. If anything, that loss, it probably guarantees them that they get one of those 2 elite prospects because I guarantee you they would have traded down farther than 4, probably stockpiled a bunch of picks, had more lottery balls for last year, but who knows? This way, I think, if anything, that loss may have guaranteed them either Carter or Hunter.
Hey, shout out to Ohio State.
That was a nice win.
Yeah.
It proved all the pundits right.
Dude, Jeremiah Smith is going to be a stud. That kid is a stud.
As much as I
Sorry,
like to do with
Dennis.
Fighting Irish.
Hey, what are you gonna do? You know,
I predict he'll be a number 1 pick in the next 2 years.
live to fight another day.
He's got to go 2 more years of college before he's draft eligible.
He'll go number 1.
Him and that guy from Alabama, that Ryan Williams, those 2 are going to be stud wide receivers.
Ohio State always produces studs for wide receivers. QB, not so much.
CJ Stroud, come on.
Oh, well, you know what? He's probably the last one to hit since Cardell Jones.
Hey, he was good. Go Bills.
Yeah.
So another thing I took out of the Bills-Ravens game that I wanted to talk about, I thought it was a class act for both QBs immediately after the game that they ran to each other, dapped up or whatever they say, and then
Real good sportsmanship. Right
Yep.
you know,
that was nice.
And
Yeah,
then
so
at the
proud.
stadium after the game, I saw Lamar Jackson was signing signatures for people at the airport, and
That's huge.
Yeah, it was cool.
That's nice.
They, I read a couple articles from the Baltimore side about, lay off Jackson. He accounted for a couple of turnovers, but his stats are great, and it wasn't just him, but it was almost a mea culpa a little bit on Lamar Jackson. Don't judge too quickly about his overall record in the playoffs. Yeah, he showed a class act. Even in the press conference, his language got a little dirty, but he was apologetic about that. That's just an athlete. That's just a professional, and you wish him well. We're glad we are where we are.
Well, you shouldn't even be apologetic about that. The guy's a competitor. He expects
Right.
more from himself.
Right.
And what more can you want? And honestly, why do they even have to say that to people? Who are you going to go get that's better than Lamar Jackson?
Right.
The same thing's going to happen to us. If we lose this week and Josh Allen doesn't look so good, do we all of a sudden fucking hate Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Does he suck now? Is he not our quarterback? He's still our guy if he has a bad game.
The Bills Mafia Facebook
I'm not trying to
page will
speak
tell you
it.
that.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's true. They'll be fucking idiots.
Yeah, but there were high expectations.
Yeah.
It was tough to lose when you lost, considering how talented that Baltimore Ravens team was. I've been there. I've done that. I've seen that. I've seen a better team lose to an inferior team, and the Bills brought it. They were opportunistic, but if you're a Baltimore Ravens, it's a missed opportunity. I mean,
Oh, sure.
and it's tough to swallow those because you don't know if you're going to be back there again. You got to wait a whole calendar year to get back to what you had.
They'll be back
Dan
there
Marino.
again. That team is great. They have great pieces, and it's just like they say about Josh. As long as you have Lamar Jackson, you're going to be a contender every single year.
Right.
It's the same thing. All these quarterbacks that are excellent. Look what they said about our team. Look what I said about our team at the beginning of this year. They were supposed to be garbage. This is supposed to be a gap year. You're supposed to just be like, well, let's look to next year when we have some more cap space and we can acquire some people and really make a run at it. And as long as you have Josh Allen, as long as you have Lamar Jackson, as long as you have Mahomes, as long as you have these guys, you're going to be in the playoff picture no matter what happens. Fucking period.
Drop the mic.
But it's a long year, and that's why people. It sucks. You have to wait a whole nother year for it, and take it from a Cleveland baseball fan. All right, it's a long year.
Go Guardians.
Take it from a Buffalo sports fan. Every year's a long year.
Well, Buffalo sports fans aren't always in it at the end of the year. So.
True.
It just shows you during that game, too, like the Bills punted several times but didn't turn the ball over. Baltimore never punted but turned it over twice.
3 times.
Yeah, we didn't
Three.
talk about the turnovers and how much they affected all of the divisional round playoff games.
Yeah.
Remember, too, that one of those punts came after that horrendous holding call on Deion Dawkins. That was a textbook offensive lineman move.
Yeah.
There was not even so much as a clutch there, and they called that. And that ended up pushing us back so far we had to punt. So let's remember that.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like and turnovers, that's it. I mean, how many points do we get off of those turnovers?
10.
Okay.
Was it
should have
10?
been more.
Yes.
It should have been
10.
more.
10?
Yes.
14
But
total
we won
points.
the game by 2, right?
Right. We got 10 off the turnovers, plus we stopped them twice on 2-point conversions.
Plus, their kicker missed what? Didn't he miss a field goal? Wasn't that no? Okay,
That
never
was the
mind.
last time they were here.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not even drunk.
So
Well, and
we
the-
took 14 points away or
Okay.
from them.
Yeah, and the stat covering the weekend that I saw was that the teams that for the whole divisional series, the teams that lost 10 turnovers.
Yes.
Teams that
Yeah.
won 0 turnovers.
Also, the teams that lost had the most yardage, too,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
thought was
Which
crazy.
which makes the turnovers a great equalizer.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So stay clean this week, Buffalo.
Yep.
Let's one last thing before we get into picks. Had Mark Andrews caught that conversion, what do you think would have happened?
I had no doubt in the world we were going to
We're
go.
marching down. Bass is
Yeah.
kicking the game-winning field goal.
I was actually more nervous about the onside
50
kick.
plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nervous about the onside kick too.
I was because, a buck 44 with 2 timeouts left, that's an eternity.
You're not running the ball that drive. You're putting the ball in Josh's hands.
It's 4-down
Yep.
territory,
And
so
he's
you got
moving
that
it down.
to
He's
play
getting you
with.
where you need to be. We win that game.
Yeah, I had no, I wasn't concerned.
We'll never
at
know.
all.
We'll never
No,
know.
we'll never
I
know.
hope that's
Goodness.
Thank you.
Never
Yeah.
know.
Didn't
We'll
want to
take
know.
Yeah, I did not. Yeah.
But this is a game we usually cough up. This is a game that, whether it's a franchise with the Buffalo Sabres or the Buffalo Bills, we usually we go in, and it felt good being the team that was on the winning side of that.
Yep.
Oh, fuck yeah.
100%.
I mean,
How many
I know
games?
I'm
Like,
stating-
we've been on it. Scott Norwood, Stevie Johnson,
right.
Bass, Diggs.
13 seconds.
The guy I mentioned earlier before I forgot. Ronnie Harmon. That's
Ronnie
who
Harmon.
That's it.
Right. Okay.
Bud, those are pizzas you like.
Good game yesterday, bud. Did he get a point?
He did.
Oh,
Professor Pepperoni, these are going to be some good-looking pepperoni pizzas, but one sucks. I'll leave it to you.
Can you tell which pizza's on the left?
Don't judge a pizza by its pepperoni.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
You know your pizza. Yeah.
You win.
Yeah, you win a prize.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't know what the other one is. You've been raised well.
Right.
Go with your gut.
You'll have to watch the podcast.
Yes, you will.
Yeah, watch the pizza reviews on watch the reviews on the ZaBillsPodcast YouTube channel. Thanks for all the new subscribers. Like and smash that button. Hit that bell. Blah blah blah. Hey folks, we should try to get our
K-Mats prods.
people that are listening to the podcast. If you haven't left a review or a rating on the bottom wherever you listen to your podcast, please do so. It'll
We'd
help
love
us.
that.
It would help us really expand our reach.
Tell us how much you love the Boston Bruins.
Try to find more converts out there. So, all right, let's get into picks. Sean.
I'm going to keep it real short. 35-19 Buffalo.
All right. Tim.
Someone's probably cursing at having 5 and 9 in squares this week. It's just don't typically add up. 34-23.
All right. Mike.
17.
All right.
I like it.
Brendan. Here we go. The predictions of all predictions. It's everyone's favorite part of the pod.
I think the Buffalo Bills will win this game. It's going to be a tough game because of who it is. I don't want it to be a tough game, but just because of who it is, it's going to be torture for us, no matter what. It's not going to be the blowout that we want. It's going to be just torturous up into the last minute. Mahomes is going to have the ball, but I think we're going to stop him like we did regular season. Chiefs, 36. Bills, 29.
All right, Dennis.
It's hard to follow that up every week.
I know it's tough being after him. I should go the other
We gotta
way.
go. We gotta go clockwise one of these nights.
All right, I'm gonna say 32 Bills and like 28 Chiefs.
Closer than I'd like.
Okay, so as of the other
Exactly,
day,
yep.
what do we got? Like Chiefs
Two,
getting
minus-
2,
yeah, no.
47.5, is it
They're
still?
-2, yeah.
Somewhere like that? So it's going to be...
We're the underdog, which is I
I would
think
prefer that.
Me too.
Yep.
I would
because I think Mahomes is undefeated as an underdog in the playoffs.
too. Yeah.
So I don't need that shit over his head. Somebody checking the lines?
-2, over under 48.
48 now?
Mhm.
Okay. So like 22.
Well, as my CFO said, go Bills, just don't beat the spread.
All right,
We'll
so
take any victory. I'm sorry. We'll take any victory.
I'm going to take the Bills at a... let's see, I'll take them like 27 to 31. Now, hold on. I think they're going to kick a couple field goals. 3, 24, 27. I'll go 27 to 23. You got a pick? I do. Get a microphone.
Chiefs 42-10.
There you go.
Brendan.
Get on the bandwagon.
How much
Get on
did
the bandwagon,
your
Kellen.
former soccer coach pay you to make that prediction?
Dude, I saw him last night at the arena. Head to toe fucking Chiefs shit. Head to toe.
Oh, we're trying to keep this podcast clean.
What an asshole. Unbelievable.
How can you live in Western New York and be a Chiefs fan?
Oh, if you met this guy, you would know.
It's almost as bad as being a Bruins fan.
I was going to say, I know what that's like.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going to go 27, 23, 28, 23, somewhere in there. It's going to... I just hope to God the Bills have the ball at the fucking end of the game.
Yeah.
That's it. They have to. And like you said, or whoever else, if you can maintain a 2-possession game for at least the fourth quarter, then I'll feel okay. If it's within a score and there's enough time, they got to be smart. They got to, when you get the lead, second half, you got to start staying in bounds. Start running that clock early. Like fucking, they were making the Ravens start burning timeouts at like 4 minutes and 35 seconds
Right.
left of the game. Right. Like start making the Chiefs burn timeouts.
Playing smart.
You got to play like that. And I know it's not glamorous football, but that's the smart way to play.
One stat.
Yeah, as long as they win.
Get the dubs.
You know, like get that 7, 8, 9 point lead and start running the fucking clock out.
Yep.
Stay in bounds, fall, slide, whatever you got to do. Stay in fucking bounds. So, anyone else got anything else before we head into one of the biggest games?
Glad to
Win,
be
baby,
here.
win.
Glad to be here. Go Bills.
Is anyone really nervous?
Yep.
Yep.
You can't not be.
This is a huge game.
It's the playoffs.
Yeah, but
I was nervous for Denver.
Well,
I was
Yeah.
more nervous for Denver and Baltimore than I am now. I'm still a little nervous, but I'm not like...
Well,
I was nervous as hell with Baltimore.
yeah.
You'd be crazy not to be nervous.
You better be your pessimistic Kyle like you were for that entire game because I think that's good mojo.
Listen, I am trying.
You were pessimistic
I
that
am
for
trying,
the last 2 minutes.
I am trying
whole
not
game.
to
The
do
text
anything.
messages coming from Kyle were like somebody else took over his phone. I didn't know what this being was.
I was
He
like-
shitting on every single thing that was happening throughout the game, and I was like, I can't even respond to this because I am like,
He would
what
say
the fuck.
He would say something, and then immediately that player would run for 45 yards in a fumble recovery, and I'm like,
They suck.
Oh my God.
Everybody sucks.
if you get ultra positive, I'm gonna have to walk out. I'm like, I need you to be as grumpy as you possibly can for this team.
How did Pacheco look in the last game? Did he have anything? Hunt had what, a short run touchdown?
Yeah, I don't think Pacheco did a whole lot, but
I'm just curious about because Andy Reid's probably going to try to run the ball down our throat, right?
He's going to try to take time off, like keep Josh off the field. Yes, I think that would be a strategy of theirs.
If the Ravens would have started running the ball sooner, it could have been a different game.
They started right out of the gate.
Well, the first touchdown was a bomb. Well, to set up the touchdown was a bomb.
Sorry to interrupt you, but that game, Pacheco actually didn't have any stats, so he must have still been hurt.
Yeah, I think he's just back for this game. They had Hunt.
Go figure.
Kareem Hunt, he had 60 yards. Hardman had 9. Xavier Worthy had 7. So no one really blew it up against us. And same with receiving. The most receiving yards was Xavier Worthy with 61.
Please, Worthy, don't have a big game. Please do not have a big game.
Kelsey, 2 catches for 8 yards.
I thought he was wide open.
And that was without Milano, too.
Yeah, that's against us. He's been wide open.
Oh, you're going back to Bills?
Yeah. I thought you were talking about last
No,
week.
no. I'm talking
Pull up their
about
stats last week.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because
all.
Pacheco
I'm
played
talking
last
about our
week.
last game.
Kelsey did well.
His first
is why
game
you're
back
not the
was
stable
the game after
genius I
Buffalo.
am.
His last game out was against Buffalo.
Okay, hang on. I'll go back to the last.
I mean, his back is sore from looking up all those stats.
Yeah.
That wasn't a game I watched. But Kelsey,
Okay, Texans stats. Let's see here. Chiefs. Hunt, 44 yards. Pacheco, 18. Mahomes, 14. Worthy, -8. Matt Ariza, -18, because that was that. He took that intentional safety.
oh yeah,
By the way, was that to fuck all the bettors or what? What was up with that?
instead of punting at the 10, I get to 2 points. Does nothing for me. Burn time off.
Yes.
And I get to kick it farther down.
Yep.
It's an old Bill Belichick play.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
does it.
Vegas play, I think. I think somebody called it in and said, hey, getting
That's
too
a
close
coach.
to the spread.
That's a coach with winning
Yeah,
experience.
I could make the argument for that was being a good call.
But to
I'd run around a little bit more if I was him, maybe
Yeah,
zigzag.
he just like.
But he did run to the back and then across the length of the end zone by a couple more seconds.
Yeah.
He did do that. Worthy at 45 receiving yards. Everybody was below him except for Kelsey. 7 receptions, 117 yards,
Yeah.
average of 17 in a touchdown.
That's a fucking Kelsey playoff line.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
God damn.
That was his best stats all year.
Yep.
Yep. He sucked all year.
So we need to shut him down. Like you said, Milano wasn't in that game. Bernard's healthy. Knock on wood.
Hey, I saw Dorian Williams come in for a few plays. Did they run a 4-3 for a little bit, or did they just sub in somebody?
Dorian played a fair amount.
I think
Who are
they're
they
kind of
subbing in and
rotating
out?
these guys around.
Just the three of
between,
them?
Between Bernard and Milano and
Oh, okay.
him.
All right.
Yeah.
Like, I think they value him almost as much as they do Bernard and Milano.
Well, when Milano was hurt, Williams played well, I thought.
Yeah.
I thought he was excellent.
Yeah. Well, if you've got a 3-headed monster, let's roll.
Was it because the defense was out there for so long?
Well,
certain
You're
drives?
showing different looks, and I don't
I
know.
figured Johnson got hurt at one point, missed a few plays.
Yep.
Why was Cam Lewis out there?
probably for Johnson.
I was going to say, I didn't notice him out there until Rapp was out.
Yeah.
He was out there first when Rapp was out, and then they
Yeah.
shifted to
Bishop, right?
Bishop.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice Bishop being out there. He didn't get burned, did he?
Not too bad.
I know he got burned in the Denver game, right? Wasn't that long? The first long touchdown, was that him? Or was that the last game?
No,
that was
that
Douglas.
was a regular season.
Okay. Yeah, I
That was
just
a
remember him
regular
getting
season.
burned. That's all I
Yeah.
remember. But I
Yeah.
didn't notice that this
No, he
week,
got
so.
burned.
There was-
Didn't
not this game. It was either
the
the
Denver game, I thought. Didn't he peak?
No, I think that was.
it
I think
was
that was
either the
Rapp
Jets or
and-
the Patriots game.
Was it
that
Rapp?
mattered.
Rapp
The
and
Guardian
Douglas.
fell over his visor area?
Probably, yeah. Happened again. Yeah.
Huh. I'm a little nervous if Bishop's got to start.
Keep the Chiefs' offense off the field.
Yep.
That's the way to do it.
It's going to be the defense all year. What you saw all year is what you're going to get.
I think I'd be more nervous if Benford didn't play than if Rapp.
Agreed. Which is why
Yeah.
I'm glad he was at least going through drills.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, as of today, who would you rather see, Eagles or
No,
Commanders?
I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I thought about that myself. I don't want to go there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's focus on this week.
It's almost like we're inviting the football gods to damn us. We don't need any of that.
What I will say about next week, I will go into the Super Bowl relaxed. I will not care, actually.
Really?
Much less than this week, much less than last week.
Because we're there.
I'm nervous last week. I'm nervous
Right,
this
you got to
week.
be there to win.
When you're in the Super Bowl, it's like, I'm going to drink some barley pops, and I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to enjoy it. Yes, I'm going to yell at the TV. Yes, I'm going to hope we win. This is my Zen talk that I had last week coming into this week, but it's really for next week. I'm just going to love it. We're finally there. The first time I can actually remember it in my entire life.
The Silver Fox. I can't believe how young you are.
And it's just going to be great, and I think we're going to have a great chance against either team. And it's just going to be awesome.
I'll answer your question. Either one of them, because that means we're there.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is.
Yeah,
Give me
me
either
either.
one. Because you know what? If we got there beating these AFC juggernauts, we have a chance against anybody.
Yeah. And I just love next season so much. So if we made it to the Super Bowl this year, we're fucking winning it next year. Whether we win it this year or not, we could go back to back.
No matter what we play, we'll play an NFC East opponent again in the
Yes.
Super Bowl.
Wow.
Oh,
We've
yeah,
only played
that's
NFC East.
that's interesting.
So it's going to be the Eagles because that's the only team we haven't played.
Yep.
Played every other.
Oh, yeah,
It'll
yeah.
be the Eagles. So there's your answer, Kyle. It's not. It doesn't matter who we want. That's who it's going to be.
So the man that told us we're not touching it just put a call out there.
That means we're in it. That means we're in it. So if we're in it,
Are we
it has
allowed
be the
to
Eagles.
ask? Am I allowed to ask if anybody has Super Bowl party plans? Like, what are they
No,
doing?
definitely not. The
Not
gods
yet.
are going to fucking strike you down.
Well, I mean, you have
Jesus,
a Super Bowl
Kyle.
party regardless of what happens. I mean,
Well,
you do things every year no
because
matter
did
who
you
it
hear
is.
Johnson talk about if that night comes, what he's planning on doing?
No, I did not.
He's gonna have like your tent thing, like down the driveway with heaters and all kinds of shit in there. So that could be.
I just love Spencer Brown's quote this year when they asked him.
Oh,
It's either going to be one hell of a party or I'm going to be sitting in a corner with the 24-pack by myself.
yeah, I saw that last night. Yeah. I'm taking off work if it happens.
I might too.
I had
If we
a meeting.
win, I think the next day
It's not Halloween.
Western
It's a
New York
holiday.
is shut
There's no
down.
holiday
Western
decorations
New York
to
is
put
shut
away.
down the next day.
I would. I heard
if you
schools
need
are
me, I'll be there.
canceling, and
I
My
had
kids aren't going to school the next day.
I had a meeting
no
with
way.
my boss today, and he's not a big football guy, but he asked me how it was going, and I said, "Listen, if we win on Sunday, I'm telling you right now, I'm off February 10th. I'm just off because I'm either going to be hungover or crying. Either way, or maybe hungover and crying. Who knows? Either way, I'm not working.
so I was listening to somebody who was it, Shout maybe, and was it them or somebody else? I don't know. I was talking to somebody. They think that just if the Bills happen to get there and happen to win, you're going to have people flying in from all over the world to come to that fucking parade to see what a Bills Mafia celebration will be after Super Bowl.
Well, those and
Well,
all of the
nobody
fans
knows.
all around the world,
Nobody
like
knows.
our buddy in London, and all
dude.
those, they'll be here. Why wouldn't they be?
yeah.
They're going to burn the city down.
They will not do that.
I
think they will.
They will not.
I
do
don't
that.
know.
You'll have
They're classy.
your
They
idiots
will
that
not
use them
do
as an
that.
example or as an excuse to do stuff. But in a whole, the fan base is not like that. I don't think.
So let me ask you, where would it be? Would it be downtown or would it be
Oh,
up
downtown.
and down
It'd be like the Sabres when they
Yeah,
went to the
it'd be
Stanley Cup.
downtown.
I think you'd be on the front step of City Hall.
Yeah.
They'll have their shit. They'll go around there.
They'll
There's-
probably
you
start
know.
right there at Ridge and Abbott and just make their way all the way down. And you'll feel it. You'll feel both sides of the road. Straight down Abbott leading the stadium, and then you have the whole entire stadium.
Wow, Rigid Abbott, that's a long way.
That's a fucking long
There's
way. I don't
there's
think that's
zero
gonna happen.
chance the politicians don't chomp at the bit to have their faces out.
Oh,
in front
Kathy
of the
Hochul's going to be here.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the fucking
So that's
best
why-
Bills fan.
That's my point.
Oh,
There's
my
no
God.
way.
Fucking
There's
Chuck
no
Schumer
way.
will be out here with a stupid ass beanie.
Oh,
I don't think it matters where you have it. There's
did
not
he
going
really
to be
say
enough
go
parking.
Bills that on inauguration day
No
wearing that
fucking
shit?
way.
Oh, okay.
No.
Sorry, Tim. What?
He's an
I'm saying,
idiot.
no, it doesn't matter where you have it. There's not going to be enough parking.
Yo,
Whether it be downtown
Yes.
or
Better take the
Park,
subway, baby.
wherever it is. There's not going to be enough parking.
No.
I will say,
You'll have people
Subway.
camping out
Brendan,
there to
Subway.
get the perfect spot.
yeah, exactly.
Subway.
If they win the Super Bowl, it'll be the first time that I go to Pryor Aviation and welcome the team back. I'm going to the airport
Hey, I know where
with
that is. I
probably
used to deliver-
thousands of other people.
I deliver fuel
but
there.
I would go. And I assume they don't come back the night of the Super Bowl. It's probably like the next day. But I would be
I
willing
can
to
find
find
out for
out.
you. I got a guy on the inside.
I'd be willing to find out and be there and actually take the kids and go do that. I would do that for the Super Bowl victory.
Oh,
We're pulling for Alicia.
That's all they need. These teachers need more days off of school.
I'm going to sit back and watch Alicia beat you now.
Oh, that's funny. Well, Sean, we'll know in a couple days if this is all going to happen.
Fingers crossed. Go Bills.
Fingers crossed, applesauce.
Bring it home, baby. Bring it
do it.
home. Do it. Do what you've been destined, what you've been born to do. Bring the championship we've been long waiting for back to Buffalo for the first time.
They can just start making
it's
the
the
Josh
story-
statues.
And be kings forever.
And it's another chapter in the storybook season, right? You're going to get it against the Chiefs.
Josh
They're
Allen.
the only gate team in front of you.
We win that Super Bowl, Josh Allen will be the only player in NFL history to play in a stadium with his own statue out front because they would build it that quick.
Yeah.
So
As far as they haven't already.
Yeah. I'm half mast right now. I love it.
Oh, that's funny. All right, folks. Till next time, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
ZaBillsPodcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by MJB Electric and Dudzik Chiropractic. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show. It helps with the algorithm. ZaBills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me. Fundraising, also by Kyle. All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Good night. Yeah, baby. Yeah.